Hey everybody, Ben here from Cinderblock Studios, and welcome to Cinderblock's. Nope, that's not right. It's Live Art Hangout number 52, live from the new studio. And yeah, really happy to be back doing a live show, especially now in the new studio. Gonna work on a painting that I actually started in the old studio, and I've been trying to have time to get it done. I worked on it for a little bit yesterday, but I'm actually ready to get ready going and actually finish this piece today. So I'm really excited to have to be doing that here today. I'm really excited to be doing it live for all of you as well. As with any kind of a live show, I love just kind of giving some tips and tricks along the way as I work, and hopefully you guys will find this useful as I continue to work. May or may not have some passing artists and visitors coming through, but I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. So I sent a couple of invites out to some long-time art community members, but we'll see if anybody does show up. If not, if it is just me, then I hope you enjoy tonight's show. Don't really have an idea how long I'll be streaming, at least an hour, possibly up to 3, but again, no idea really. Excuse me. I should have gotten a glass of water or something before I started, but I'll have to do that a little bit later. So today's agenda, first thing is first, of course, finish this painting. I have another 2 paintings sketched out on the floor behind me, as well as some stuff in my sketchbook, as well as some digital concepts I need to work on eventually. But in general, I'm going to go ahead and work on finishing this piece. So this is a small cradle ampersand board. It's a master panel or an artist panel, one of the two names. It's called the artist panel. They call it better than canvas. I wouldn't say that it's better than canvas, but I would definitely say that it is different. It's definitely a really interesting painting support. So this particular painting, I have a sketch for over here, but I don't have a concept for. But I do have a digital piece that I'm sort of basing it on, not entirely, but at least basing the color on. So it's basically gray tones, and there's going to be some red, kind of going through the center of this. The piece I'm calling it "Follow the Blood Trail." So it's going to be relatively simple, at least in terms of its design, and then hopefully the red will just really kind of make things pop up towards the end there. So this is almost a monochromatic piece. Of course, given the red later, I'm using black, white, and my used paint mix, which is a nice, nasty, kind of cool gray color. And need to get a bit more of that there now. So we'll get some of that on our palette. And the used paint is made from scraping off all of the colors at the end of a painting and throwing them into a jar and mixing them up. That's what I get when I have the used paint. And so if you start doing that yourself, you'll probably end up with a relatively similar color, depending on what colors you paint with more often or less often. And yeah, so we need some of that. We need regular black, but not a ton. I'm not using a lot of this. Just enough to kind of tone down some color as I need to. And then, of course, regular titanium white. Yeah. So nice to see a few of you out there watching this evening. I know I announced the live show earlier in the week, but I didn't really set up the page here on YouTube for the event until this afternoon. So things certainly somewhat spontaneous and somewhat not. So before I do start grabbing the paint, I actually have been doing a lot of stuff, particularly in this piece with paint markers. And I want to sketch out on top of this. So this darker stuff here, if you saw my tweet earlier this week, it's a bit of color mixed with some of the Golden's micaceous iron oxide. So it has both a little bit of a shine to it as well as a little bit of almost like a sandpaper tooth. So I really kind of want to come through here and sort of redefine a couple of lines before I actually get started on filling in the rest of the color and detailing. So I don't know how well this will actually show up for you. I'm kind of just doing this so I can see it. But I've actually been loving using paint markers lately. Not that I've had a ton of time to paint up until just recently. The move has, of course, gotten in the way of a lot of my regular painting, but I'm happy to really kind of be able to have some actual time now to really kind of sit and work, or in my case, stand and work. So most of my shapes are already relatively defined. I'm just trying to make a couple distinctions here for myself later. And I'll, of course, just kind of let some of the stuff go as I work, just trying to. Okay, that should be good. Just a couple of lines. Again, I don't even know if you guys can see that, but it's just a couple of lines for me to actually just kind of be able to see and to see where I'm working. And I've actually done most of this painting with just 2 different flat brushes. I was using this larger one, which is a Utrecht Master Series, which, by the way, any kind of thing that's like listed as a Master Series brush, I'm really enjoying lately. So I guess as I start buying more brushes, I'm going to be buying some more Master Series brushes coming up. So and at the end of the show, I may show off some of the new studio, but anyone who's been watching the moving vlogs up to this point, you've seen the new studio already. And so if you want to actually see it like a more of a grand tour, check out, I think it would be Moving Vlog 8. Gives you a better understanding of how the studio's set up now. Because the way the camera's pointing down here, it all probably looks almost identical to how the old studio looked. So yeah, I'm still trying to do that. Also, increased stability with the stream. I have a excellent internet connection now, so you guys are not going to see a blurry stream from me at least anymore. If you do, it's your connection. It's definitely not mine. So pretty happy about that. All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead and get painting here now. I want to get some kind of a mid-tone in here for these trees. I do want the foreground to be relatively dark, though. So the highlights really are going to be more on the edges than anything else. So just kind of keep this color in here. Just kind of stick with this deep gray. So I was kind of looking at last time I did a stream, I had a sort of an extension cord. It last several times. An extension cord to my already like 9-foot headphone cord, but since moving into the new studio, I actually everything's closer to me. Things were spread out on bookshelves, and now everything's relatively close to the table. So I actually don't need that extension for my headphone cord. So I'm actually able to work with that less of a cord and a lot more relaxed, which is great. It's definitely something I was kind of looking forward to, having everything sort of closer with me here in the new studio. Okay, not going to darken it down for this section because a lot of our light's coming from the top in the center. There's a little bit on the edges, but not quite as much. Yeah, so since I already established a lot of these shapes, really it's just about not killing that edge. And then just kind of bringing that color in. Actually, one thing I've noticed with this new place is that it's down here. It is particularly very, very dry. So you're probably going to see me, at least from now on, adding a lot more water into my brush. And that's simply because my working environment has gotten significantly drier. And so I have to compensate by adding a little more water into my paint in order to maintain the level of workability that I need. So the whole concept with this piece is that it's sort of like a desolate forest in the snow. and you have these big arching rock structures kind of coming up and over, but they're also sort of hidden in the mist in the back. And I actually used my spray paint this time around to almost mimic like a heavy snow. So it should be pretty interesting. So a lot of this is just going to be about establishing the darks first. And then when I can actually start kind of pulling in some light over top, things will start to pop out a little bit more. So guys, if you're watching, feel free to jump in the chat, say hi. I love hearing from you. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat as well. I always love answering viewer questions. If you have anything that's bothering you about current projects, anything that maybe you're struggling with, feel free to drop that in. Or if you just want to hear a little bit more about this piece or upcoming projects I'm working on, feel free to ask away as well. All right, that's looking pretty good. Could probably start doing a little bit of a lighter edge on a couple of these trees sticking up. So we're going to mix a little white in. And I won't need much because I don't want to make that the foreground layer stand out as much, or at least because there's a lot of fading going on between the different layers in the background. So I want the foreground layer to be a little more subtle and not have as strong of a highlight, at least until we get into the snow. This painting is actually probably going to look really nice in my kitchen. It's a kind of a little bit of a weird place to put it maybe, but I kind of have a black and white theme going on in the kitchen, so it'll actually probably look really nice in there. Until I sell it, of course. We got a couple of shows coming up in April, so probably end up taking either this piece or some other smalls with me. Plus, I know my art manager is always looking for new works of mine, new things that can become prints. So, always helps. So when you put an underlying texture of any kind on canvas with that, whether that's heavy paint or medium or whatever, what you're going to get out of that is something that you can kind of just drag over and dry brush over, and it picks up all this underlying texture and kind of creates a really nice effect. So that's kind of why I use that the mica black in there as a base, because I wanted to have relatively flat areas, because a lot of times I'm using like a heavier molding paste and getting really bumpy areas. I still wanted it to be relatively flat, but I at the same time still have a lot of that texture, so it doesn't really look flat. So you have a lot more of that freedom that way. Yeah, I need a little more water here. This way. Need a little bit of that cast lighting in the back here. Yeah, there we go. Not a lot, just a little bit in the back. In the center of this, I'm going to get a lot darker. I may even get some of the high flow acrylic for that. because that's often tends to be kind of easy to spread around. So here I can probably push a little more of the white in here, start taking some thicker liberties. Some other liberties with getting this to be a bit brighter. Okay, we're just going to go right into the white in here now. I can start pulling more of this in. We're kind of just going to fade it up and in to some of the areas that I've already got it. Probably have to add a little water to get my blending back here at this point. A little bit there. And of course, I'll have to come back in with like a liner brush and something and redetail it. I actually think I want to try and zoom in a little bit here with my camera because I know it's probably a little bit off, and I think I'm blurrier than I should be. That looks a little better. Right about like that. We're going to zoom in a bit. That looks a little nicer. I'm trying to, and the camera's a little off kilter. I think it's, oh, that's what's going on. This is crooked. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to figure out what I had going on there. That looks a little bit better now. Still getting used to. I'm still using roughly the same camera setup that I did before, but again, still kind of getting used to the new place, trying to get used to how things are set up. My big camera setup, I'm probably going to have to cut about 4 inches off of because it's a little too high. It's a little too close to the ceiling. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to be able to do with that quite yet. But it's someday when I'm, don't have really much else to do, I'll probably play with that a bit more. But this was sort of a good testing, a good way to kind of test the waters a bit with the new studio and the old setup. So. Okay. So right in the center, it's still going to be pretty bright. I want that to really kind of stand out and blend in with the layers at the back, because that's sort of the transition area. And then it's kind of like I want this little section in the center to seem like a little bit of a valley, so it's going to kind of come in at an angle a little bit. So I got to almost kind of make little U's. Little U-shaped sections here to be sure that I'm getting that motion that I really want to get. But yeah, like I was saying before, I've actually done most of this painting just with 2 different size flat brushes. And I'm not sure if I'll switch out for anything else, to be honest. Just don't really need it. But it's been an interesting little piece thus far, getting as far as I have with just basically 2 brushes. Maybe 3, but they've all been flats, so. That looks pretty good. Do want to get a little more water in here. It's the thing is we wanted the paint and the brush to drag a little bit more on the trees, but we don't really want it in the snow because I want that to seem more smooth. Fine white powder. It's either powdered sugar, snow, or crack, so make up your mind now. All right. Looks pretty good. We're getting there. All right. What else we got? A little more in here. This way, that way. Maybe fade a little bit more out here on the top of this hill. Make this fade into that back as well. Kind of really just exploring and finding where I want the snow to sit and where I want the rocks to sit. Because I haven't officially decided on either of them really. Just have a general idea. But that feels pretty good. Can thin that out a bit now and just kind of work with some water. Blend out some of those areas. Because they're at this point they're relatively dry to the touch, but there's still some underlying moisture there, so I can just grab some water and then just pull that around a little bit. Not a lot, but enough that kind of feather out a lot of the brush strokes. So again, guys, feel free to drop by in the chat, say hi. I know not all of you are super vocal, but love to hear from you. Love to hear what you guys are working on for yourselves, even if it's just a simple sketch. Or maybe you're just somebody who likes watching the creative process. Either way, nice to have everybody here. And welcome to the new home of the new Cinder Studios as I get some work done. So I'll have to get. Actually, looks pretty good now. I might come back in with the paint marker again and outline some shapes once again. But since, of course, now that I have the now that I have all that in, so I actually do want to go back in with some black. But I'll keep it relatively. Whoa, hello. Now I gotta clean the brush off because I was a dumbass. Oh, okay. Shunk. Drop your brush in the paint. That's no way to live. So anyway, keeping the paint a little bit more transparent, a little more watered down for a lot of these areas in the middle. So I don't want to overpower the tree trunk, and same thing here. Like I want to sort of feather it out as we get to the edges. So I'm putting a lot more color in the center, and then with a wetter brush, blending that out to the edges. And of course, still in doing so, taking advantage of the texture of the underlying paint. And I'm keeping my shadows. A lot of times I have really strong dominant shadows, but I imagine this is almost like an overcast or a cloudy sky day. So I'm keeping my shadows relatively minimum and kind of just trying to stick them to around the underside of the tree and not really kind of pushing a strong, bolded shadow out across from there. Hey, Juanita is in the chat, aka She Spins. So great to hear from you. It's been such a long time. If you can, and you want to hop in, let me know. I'll toss an invite your way. It's been forever since we talked. But yeah, she's got a great channel. She makes things. I mean, everybody makes things, but she made me a pair of gloves a number of years ago, which are in a coat somewhere down here. I should really get those out. They make great driving gloves. A pair of fingerless gloves she made me that time. I haven't worn them yet this year, but every year since getting them, I've definitely worn them. It's actually been a rather warm winter, so anytime I've needed gloves, it was like, yeah, heavy gloves or no gloves. Um, all right, let me send an invite out. Okay, so hopefully that'll arrive. Sometimes it's a little finicky, but we'll see. Yeah, Juanita, we go way back, early art hangout days when the Google Hangouts were still new and not terrible. Oh, resend it. Okay. Should also show up on your email, I think, if you do it from there. But all right. So yeah, getting these trees done. Hopefully, be able to finish this piece today. If any, I was gonna say, if any of you again follow me on Twitter, you'll see the only thing. But I did do a complete piece here. It's the welcome sign to my house. Actually, no, that was a half and half too. I started at the old place, finished it here. But I did a little landscape as my own little welcome sign. So I did that, and this is another half and half piece. And then the next piece I do will actually be the first piece that I started and finished here at the new studio. So very exciting. So kind of taking advantage of the couple of dryer brushed spots and using those to put more of these little shadowy rock areas in. Gonna grab a little more gray here though for some of these ones towards the center. A little more dark. A little more. All right. Okay. Feeling pretty good about this. Definitely want to pull a little more shadow in here where the trees and everything meet the ground. I just kind of want this to be a little bit of a slope. Might need a little more paint for that though. Oh, this is good. It's really starting to come together now. feeling pretty good about this. I actually didn't need to get the paint marker out again, but just having fun finding all these little shapes in here. So I may end up using some zinc white in the middle of here because it's more transparent. That way I can get, that way I won't really kind of destroy a lot of these other shapes I'm getting. So that's kind of what I'm worried about here, is losing the integrity of what I already have. All right, so I guess one of you is still getting set up. Sometimes it takes a minute for everything to kind of go through and everything like that. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, and I'm not really going to highlight the trees in the foreground too much here. I want to keep that as dark as I can without seeming like it's totally flat. I may give it a slight, like a hairline edge, but other than that, it looks pretty good. I may be able to put my figure in right now, so I should be able to work him in. So I want to get a little bit of a grayish white here for a second. So there's a little bit of a sort of a center shadow I want to build in, because when we start layering in the actual blood trail, that's going to need to be need to actually have a spot that you can do that with. So I'm going to just kind of real lightly put a path in here. And that little path will end up being basically where the blood trail is. So that'll mostly end up being relatively red. I'll glaze in on over top of that. Yep, that looks pretty good. Oh my. Okay, well, so now that's right. We're gonna get that little figure in there. So nice. Actually, I think we're just gonna grab some of the high flow for the black, since it's already a nice thin opacity. I don't have to worry about thinning down the black to something that's harder to manage. I've actually found that I really like having some thin acrylics in the studio. It's nice. Maybe even add a little bit of the heavy body into that, just to get a nice quick, basically a quick fluid. So this guy is sort of up in the center here. Normally I do this with a liner brush, but this little flat brush actually works very well for it. It'll paint just a small gray shadow underneath him. Like so. Okay, I'll need my zinc white now. And probably a drink, because my mouth's starting to get a little parched. So I will be right back as soon as I drop this down. Bloop. And I want to go get my water bottle, because otherwise I'm going to be pretty screwed here. So I'll be right back. Seriously, people in the chat, give us comments. Or new plus. Huh. That's really weird. If I can send you a direct email, I can send you a direct link. So let me see if I can do that, because oftentimes that works better. Here, I'll open up the chat on this side. and give you a direct link. And hopefully that'll work for you. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay then. Let me flip back. That was one from earlier. Maybe keeps that in there. All right. So, anyhow, still working. I think my focus changed again. It seems to really, camera seems to not want to stay focused. I said it. Sorry about that. Things got a little. Things froze for a minute there, but we're good now. Anyhow, so getting back to getting this snow put in. The transparent snow now. So I'm actually going to let this be almost a little bit thicker. Hey, there she is. I think. Yeah. Depends on if her audio is hooked up. Can you hear me? I feel like I can hear you. I can't hear your voice. I hear like a little bit of a thing going there. Elt asking, do I have to wait for the original layer to dry before I glaze it? Depends. Generally speaking, yes. Because you don't want to lift any of the underlying paint into the next layer of glaze. But you can generally work when it's a little bit tacky, as long as you're careful. In this case, I'm using zinc white, so zinc white is just a transparent white. So I don't need like a glazing liquid or any other additives. So I'm just using paint on top of paint. So things tend to be a little bit easier that way. But generally, yeah, you have to wait till at least it's dry to the touch before you really start glazing. What the hell was that? Oh, I got stuff falling off the walls. That thing's taped to wood, which doesn't really work. Gotta find a better way to hang things on down here because I don't really have things to. I mean, I could attach stuff to the duct work, but then it might get too hot and catch fire or something. So I don't want to. Obviously, wouldn't want that to happen while I'm hear my own voice on feedback. Put on headphones, Juanita, please. I was gonna say you may have to change your settings in the little gear in the corner there.
Yeah,
The
shit.
things
I
look a
have
little.
on headphones.
Oh, okay. I hear you now. Hi. I mean,
I have on headphones.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, there
Uh-huh.
there is some level of cancellation that it does, but yeah.
Wow. Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Now it's not working. Oh well.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Lagging. Big time.
You're a little. Your audio's a little grainy, but hey, welcome, welcome back. I should say. Really, it's been a long time. Apology 89's in the house. Rareth Art's in the house. Excellent. Nice to see you guys here. I did like where I was going with this, and now all of a sudden I put this white back in. And all of a sudden, things started looking weird again. Actually, I gotta work on the right-hand side. I probably should put a little more white in here because I gotta tuck my signature into this corner eventually. All right. I think Juanita just might be being quiet for the sake of stream stability. But nice to see her here. I'll put that on her drawing for a second there. That looks pretty neat. Colored pencil and inks, it appears. Yeah, nice to have you here. Well, I think a lot of times you just will come in and draw and not talk. So I think that's likely what's going on. Apology 89, absolutely. You're always welcome. I'll have to get you a direct link though, because I was trying to send you an invite earlier and it would not come through for some reason. So yeah. All right. So we'll check back with one of your stuff a little bit later. In the meantime, I gotta figure out what the heck I'm doing. I just went over. I have a just dry palette sitting here, and I just went like this. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm gonna pick this paint up on the dry palette because that's something that works. Jeez. All right. So working the white back in. And actually, I kind of feel pretty good about that. Yeah, this got a little screwed up here on the right. I'm gonna have to work some stuff back in here a little bit later. Actually, I'm looking the The zinc white almost has a little bit of a cooler, almost a bluish tint to it, which I was unaware of previously. Um, all right. Okay, we may have to.
Right.
I can hear you now a little bit. Trying to get Apology 89 in here. Of course,
Not
it's never.
sure if it's working, but I turned on the mic for the camera.
Hey, yeah, I can hear you now. Nice. Oh, here we go. Get the permalink this way. It's likely part of the issue.
Robot style.
Yeah, you're a little audio, little grainy audio, but it's just like the good old days, I suppose.
Let's see, the lag still exists.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, Google can't be expected to fix everything. I think they just want you to use something other than Hangouts now. But then that's harder to invite people in that way. Speaking of which, I don't know if Yasmin's home, but I forgot to send her an invite. I'll send her one. She streams all the time, but she doesn't talk. She just has like music going and everything like that. So what is it that you're working on over there? I saw a little bit before some colored, looks like colored pencils and inks, but
All right, I'm in.
he's in.
Give me 1 second, though.
Now it's a party.
Yep. Give me 1 second, though.
Will do.
It's colored pencils. It's a Zentangle that someone requested.
Nice.
So I've been using my Derwent Metallics, my Derwent Color Soft, and these are some
Ooh-hoo.
some that I want to try out here. Made in China.
Interesting. How are they? Or haven't you opened them yet? Okay.
And I'm back for a good while.
A good while.
They're very smooth and they blend well. It almost feels like I'm using Prismacolors.
I have to check them
We're
out.
talking about.
Her Uhu looked like some sort of Chinese off-brand one. She's also her audio is also in a bit of a delay, so if you ask her something, you gotta wait like a minute.
Oh, okay. My gosh, Ben. Wild.
The what? Oh, the soda. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but let me say this: it will make you feel like a very stupid person.
Well, I don't know. It depends.
To say it took me a good to find the second dungeon.
That's fine. It's kind of like the first, one.
And I had no idea how to equip for a good half hour too. So
Didn't you read the book? They started coming with books again, so I don't know what you're.
I thought it
how
would
do-
have a book, and it didn't have a book.
Hmm.
And I only had to pay like $5 because I traded in 4 games. And a ripoff at
Okay, I'm gonna have to find a good red for this. I think I'm gonna mix cadmium and red oxide.
Oh, okay, you do that then.
Get a little slightly darker, slightly. I don't want the. I don't want I don't want it to be like a real bright red. I need it to be a little more toned down. So I have to scrape off another small palette for this.
I spent half the day on the game. I haven't done that in a long time.
I wish I had half a day to spend on a game. Don't get that kind of time anymore.
Neither did I until like last December, and this game is going to be the last anti-productive thing, proactive thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go back to being a proactive person.
So you say. And then some other game will come out and you go, ooh, I'll play that now for a while now too.
Oh, probably not, because I'm not as big a gamer as you are, or as I once was.
You say that now.
I kind of like books more.
It's probably
By the
better
way-
for you that way.
What?
It's probably better for you that way.
Yeah, by the way, audience and Juanita, you should totally read Mindy Kaling's books. And just kidding, you don't have to, but it's really funny. And she has the same life anxieties that I do.
I'm sure if anyone out there is looking for a suggestion, I'll maybe take you up on that.
Mm.
Ooh, hello.
Believe it when I see it.
All right. So we'll get. Oh, Lucas, you'll love this. Glazing liquid.
Ooh, great.
Need a little bit.
Those many Cummings.
She doesn't know who your author is.
She's the girl from the Mindy Project. She's short, chubby Indian woman. She has a really annoying, high-pitched voice.
Nobody's gonna know what you're talking about.
You see the comments for that, and it's like, what do you mean you don't know who Mindy Kaling is?
Okay, let's glaze this in.
I love glaze. So, Ben, I don't know why I don't know about this painting you're working on. For some reason, I don't.
You don't know about everything I'm doing. Jeez.
That's true. I have to install the new cameras in a new place.
How did what?
It's like, no, it's a joke saying that I had cameras in your old house. I have to install
My
them.
husband watches that show. I never was interested.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm working on this piece. I started it like a month and a half ago, and I just haven't had the time to finish it because of the move. That's probably why you haven't seen it.
Well, it looks familiar, but I was like,
Well, the sketch is from like December. Yeah, December right before Christmas is when I did the sketch.
someone else.
Hey guys.
No way!
Yes.
I
Oh man, it's
I
been
didn't know if you'd
so
be in or
long.
not.
Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm totally gonna post this on Facebook, so just 1 sec.
Wow. Nice big party tonight.
If only we had Greg and a bottle of
We'll
wine.
never find Greg again. He's off in his own world.
Gotta get him in here with a nice bottle of wine and see where the night goes from there.
Hey.
Yeah. So we have Yasmin here this evening.
It's been a long time coming.
you probably saw that and you're like, oh, yes.
I just want to get the link first too, for the actual post. Should show up.
Should be through my channel. Should be there at least.
I don't know. I had to get a direct link, like
Well, she means the video.
that
Yeah.
kind of link. It's funny, right when she said Link, I thought immediately of Link from The Legend of Zelda because I've been playing for half the day.
Oh, it
America,
looks like
I
I
don't
can
have it.
actually choose which screen to share. That's awesome.
Oh.
Oh, that's a nice welcome improvement.
There you go.
Oh, I'm working on a new image too. I'm just exporting the line art right now.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm just very learning digital art. Wait, Yaz, are you working on a Chromebook?
Nope.
Oh wait,
Nobody
okay.
works on a Chromebook. Oh.
No, the setup was kind of close to a Chromebook, so I got briefly confused. That's why.
Not with the PC I have.
No, I
I'm
mean
not
the little
switching
bottom.
anytime soon.
The little bottom part is black, which is like pretty much a Chromebook setup. So I was like, "Are you on a Chromebook?" And I was like, "No, wait. There's a little Windows window in the right left-hand corner. Never mind."
The right left-hand corner. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You were excited. I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, so much Zelda in one day.
There should be a share area.
A share area?
Yeah, normally you can share these hangouts. Like, to the actual feed. Oh, okay,
Oh,
wait, YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the YouTube?
I think at least you could copy the link from the actual live video and then post it on the Facebook.
It's address bar it,
Okay, that won't actually send the actual, like, hangout link?
Well, yeah, no. Well, if you do it from the Hangout, you got to do it from the video. Are you on the?
Yeah, I need to find the video.
Oh, well, just go to my channel,
Mm,
or
It's so long.
or it'll be on my Twitter. Okay.
Oh, Cinder Blocks, here we go.
I was gonna say, just search Cinderblock Studios, you'll find me.
Here we go.
It's motivated.
It's the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now I've got a link to share.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Juanita. You've got the audio delay today, apparently.
Oh no!
She's got like a minute delay. So if we talk to her, it's like this minute long. It's like, oh wait, we talked about that already.
Aww.
So I'm sorry, but I can't. If I could do anything for you, I would. But I can't. Sorry. But yeah, I actually am relatively close to finishing this piece.
There's a saying I kind of want to say about it, but I can't say it out loud.
At least
I-
not currently.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is. So we'll
We'll leave it at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of those comments, isn't it?
Let's just say I learned the most hilarious one-liner from a book and shared it with Ben last night.
Wait, what?
We'll just let it be cryptic. It's better not to ask. I've learned not to ask.
Okay, that's fair. I
Not that I'm
forget
a
who
whole,
I'm with.
not that I'm a horrible person, internet, but I read a lot of books.
Actually, I finished a while ago a really dark series. It was good though.
Ooh, which one was it?
Brian Lumley's series, The Necroscope.
I've
He
actually
has a
heard of
lot of
that.
books. Oh, it's so dark. It's so awesome.
Well, given the
Yes.
kind of art you make, that's kind of it's appropriate, I'd say.
Absolutely. Actually, my coworker suggested it after he saw my art. He's like, have you ever read this series? No, I have not.
All right, it might be time for final details.
Woo!
I always like final details. It's the first time I've used anything other than a flat brush the entire piece. All right, need a little one. How well can you guys hear the furnace? By the way, is it real loud?
I don't hear it for this.
Okay, it's like 5 feet from me, so
Oh, it's keeping you warm.
it is. It's nice. Helps.
Oh, awesome. I just finished exporting, so I'll be able to show you guys what I'm working on.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the audio, all the different sounds in this place are yet for, and how much everything is going to translate over yet. I'll start with just a little white.
Public domain song.
Actually, we can put my music on because I wrote it.
Oh.
But it's pretty dark, so I don't know if it would work.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I listened
well,
to Slay when I was a kid.
maybe some post-show stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
that's
was
fair.
just humming. I didn't actually want to sing. I know Ben gets in trouble if I sing.
Well.
Hey, as long as nobody goes deaf, you're fine. Don't go deaf, right?
Well, you see,
That's a
Ben
promise.
told me that the last time I sang on his channel, someone from YouTube arrived at his doorstep and started beating him with a bat. So
I said no such thing. We're making things up again.
unless I'm thinking of Earth 2, Ben.
Oh, fun times. And beaten by a bat.
Fun times in different universes, kids.
Thankfully, different universe, yes. If that was a regular occurrence, I would be not happy.
Yep.
Okay, the link has been shared to the masses.
Excellent.
It has been shared to the past.
Oh,
Yes,
man,
technically it has. All right.
To the audience and you guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to be making Zelda puns the whole night.
I'm sure they don't mind much.
Oh, they will. They will.
Okay, that's
Okay.
just creepy, dude.
Sorry. Just trying to keep up, man. That's where the line is, really? Okay.
I don't know, because I've never heard you make a voice like that.
Well then, I just have to do that more often.
I don't think you guys have heard my alternative voices, or have you?
And, I could go put one of my claws on for a while. Since my prop shelf's down here now,
Make a
I'll paint with the claw for a while. just like it's no big deal.
Dr. Claw.
All right, image is finally up.
Woo!
So I actually used a completely different software to do the line art.
Oh, what software? You've been a Photoshop person for a while, so now I'm
Yeah.
curious.
So Adobe has really annoyed me to a significant degree many times over the past 2 years. So I have been consistently looking for viable alternatives.
Uh-huh.
It's close. It's not quite there.
Is it Manga Studio?
No, actually, it's Affinity. So that's the company, and they produce Affinity Photo, which is their Photoshop competitor. It's very close to being completed, or at least functional for my industry, but it's still missing core features to make it that. So I've held off on my review of that. But Affinity Designer, oh man, it's so close. It just needs the warp option. It's one tool. Give me that one tool, please. Oh my God, give me that one tool.
Have you ever tried PaintStorm Studio?
PaintStorm Studio, I have not.
It is a really interesting piece of software. If you're specifically painter focused, it is the closest thing to Photoshop that you can get.
Oh, really?
It lets you paint sort of in that faux wet on wet technique, but it also lets you do layer on layer, traditional Photoshop. So you have the freedom.
Oh, okay, that's nice. It's funny because Windows actually did release a free paint software. I don't recall what its name is.
Well, there was Fresh Paint, which was it's not great.
It's not great, but at the same
Sketchable
time,
is the new one.
at the same time, though, considering that it's, well, first of all, free and it's a Windows app that comes with your computer, it's actually not bad.
No, it could be worse. It's not original MS Paint, but
no, it still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like Affinity, they're still working on their software, but it's also really cheap.
Yeah, why I recommend PaintStorm is once you buy it, you get free updates for life.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they've done with.
And
this
it's
one.
only $20.
Oh, that's even cheaper.
Yeah.
It's called what? Fresh Paint?
PaintStorm Studio.
Storm Studio. Hold on a sec.
Definitely worth checking out and at least playing with the trial for as long as it goes, because it's really interesting. My only problem with it is it doesn't map super well to the tablet. So a lot of the rotational shortcuts you have to kind of work into it, like other custom buttons and stuff. But that's my only gripe right now. But other than that, it's a really nice piece of software. And I've noticed that I can't. It'll import Photoshop files, but for some reason, saving a Photoshop file from PaintStorm causes it to corrupt for some reason.
Oh, that's a big issue.
Well, it is if you're going to switch between that and Photoshop. So
which I would have.
I can't open something I started in PaintStorm in Photoshop and finish it, but I can start something in Photoshop and finish it in PaintStorm.
Okay. So you probably end up using it more for detail work then, if anything. Concept.
I would end up using just that piece of software for a project.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't try and transition between the two.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to use it for my industry then.
But I found out recently you can import brushes, so you can use Photoshop brushes in it, and anything that's Photoshop supported lets you import the brush sets.
Good.
But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, I'd say.
I'll probably check it out. From the sounds of it, I think I would probably end up using it more for conceptual art, if anything.
Yeah, I think it would be fun for that in the long run.
Oh, the claw!
I said I was just gonna put this on for a while, and you're just like, oh yeah, no,
Well, I was like looking through text messages, and I was like, oh, what?
yeah. You're just like, oh yeah, totally ignored that whole part of
Yep.
the conversation. Everyone else has been like, yeah, okay, whatever, but you know.
But like, let's put it this way. Let's say I was distracted by something, and then I barely look at my screen. It's like, oh my god, a homicide happening right on my screen.
That's a little extreme to this. I mean, come on.
Oh, I got the idea from watching Law and Order SVU,
Gong gong.
Yes.
and I cannot tell you how many hours of my life have been drawn to that show.
Puns.
Oh.
No, but seriously, that show, it gets you hooked after like 5 minutes.
You guys would be horrified if you found out the last time I actually watched TV.
Oh, it's probably been like 5 years, hasn't it?
I haven't had
Yeah.
I haven't had cable in like 5 years. Like, there's a couple of shows that I'll stream online, but that's it.
Y'all gonna judge me? Go ahead.
I actually almost exclusively just watch all my content on YouTube.
That's me. That's absolutely
Yeah.
me.
I have my stories to watch.
I think
Gotta watch Doc. Huh?
both of my shows I think are between seasons right now, so it's like, wow.
What's it called? What am I watching right now? Just started watching Powerless, which is actually kind of funny.
See, you're gonna say all this stuff. We're like, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess I'll talk about Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Just kidding. I don't watch that show. I've never seen an episode. I had no idea what Kim looked like until 3 months ago.
If it's any consolation, neither do I.
Like,
Nope, not a clue.
The after show, I have to ask you questions about your current status in the US.
Oh.
Please. Don't bring that up, please.
After the show.
What?
Oh man, I should queue up OBS for after the show. Just keep a little record of that.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
That's fair.
We'll see how long that lasts.
But concerning that topic, I'm
Yes.
gonna keep it shut because I don't want people trolling and flaming on Ben's comments.
That's not a problem. I know how to moderate comments. I try not to. I mean, I leave it to some degree to people to fend for themselves, but
Let's just say I've been in enough Facebook arguments.
You actually have Facebook arguments?
I have some friends that feel very sensitive towards some topics, and I'm just like,
I lost a couple of friends over the election.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Because people, apparently don't know
stop.
It's okay to have an opinion, and then they're like, huh, well,
Actually
that's it.
very important in general is to have an opinion
Yeah.
and then be able to reformulate it given new evidence or new
It's-
circumstances.
Yeah, like it's like, hey, I expressed an opinion. It's like, nope, you like I was unfriended for like expressing an opinion. It's like, are you kidding? Like
Have you been
how
refriended
how-
yet?
no.
Uh,
Well,
I thought I'd
the one guy. This was my friend for a long time. And this I still can't. This thing is I don't feel that we're not friends anymore. But he like specifically distanced himself from me. He unfriended me, and then I sent him a message. And I'm like, wait, seriously? Like how childish are you for doing this? And then he blocked me. And I'm like, dude, like what?
Okay. That's, to be fair, you probably don't want to be friends with somebody like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I'm almost like, I thought I knew you better than this,
Yeah, well, not everybody are very cognitive, though. You find that out every day.
But it's like if I were to run into him now, it's like I wouldn't feel bitter. But at the same
Yeah, well,
time,
that's
it's like it's sometimes like I feel sorry for you. I feel so sorry that you know like whatever I said to you, I'm sorry, but it's like I can't even I can't even apologize. Like you're not even you won't even give me the time of day for that. Um,
So the only time I've done that was when somebody who was overly zealous about their opinion went to stop shoving it in my face.
yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to avoid you.
I've done it a few times. I've unfriended people, but just because I'm the kind of stalker-ish in my life, so I'm just like
Well, that's
unfriend.
a very different scenario.
That's a very good reason.
Like those are the reasons why I've unfriended people, because they felt the need to comment on all of my posts. I'm just like, lady, we only met once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Of course, I have an unusual problem of the fact that I go to a lot of these art shows. Usually, right after that, I get like 5 different friend invites from people I met once at this show that I have no idea who they are, and it's like no. It's like just because you found my personal Facebook page does not mean I'm going to friend you. It's like
No.
if you had my business card, you could go to the fan page, and I'm perfectly happy to interact with you there. But I'm not gonna just start friending people that I met at shows to my personal page. I don't think so.
Actually, because I created my business cards when I was going to shows, I specifically did not include any personal information. It only had
Well, it's
email.
my business stuff.
yeah. Well, the only thing that like for me, it's all business stuff with the exception of my cell phone, which is on my cards. But I use my cell phone for everything, so it's just the phone number. But I haven't gotten like phone calls like that. But it's always been I looked up your first and last name on Facebook and I'm trying to friend you. And it's like no, go to the business. That's I don't.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a confession. I did know about Ben's Facebook before. Please don't hate me, Ben. So I didn't know
That
about
would
his
be from the previous conversation.
So I didn't know about his Facebook, but I never sent him a friend request until like he sent me there because it's like, okay, I guess we are gonna be friends.
Yeah,
And
well,
then-
and that's actually a good way to draw the line, though, right? Because you
Yeah.
waited until somebody actually showed an interest.
Yeah.
That's actually very important because a lot of people don't do that. They just get creepy.
Well, it's not so much as because a lot of people, at least in sort of my city's community, they just kind of do everything through the Facebook page, and I specifically make this difference between the personal page and the business page, because I don't want there to be that overlap. Because at a certain point, like I mean, I'll let there be an overlap, like a lot of you guys, and a lot of the older art community. I'm friends with Meryl and Tyler on Facebook and from those early days, but it wasn't like there wasn't like an immediate thing. I wasn't like I'm gonna go friend these people. It's like you build the connection up over time. You don't meet somebody once and expect the friend invite because that's just not how I do things.
It
Build a
depends-
connection,
Usually
also
there
trust.
are a handful of people that I've met that I did end up friending, but it's not usually immediately, or if it's like this person took a genuine interest in like me as a person or something like that, like that, or like I'm trying to help you. There was a guy at a show last year that I talked to for like 2 hours, and then he friended me. I'm like, you know what, I'm fine with that, because it's
Yeah,
like
like,
that's a little. There was a little more than we sat and we talked for 10 minutes because you thought about buying one of my paintings or something. It's like no.
Well, because there's a difference between a professional dialogue and one that's more personal.
Right, and
Some
like
people don't understand.
professional relationships versus more personal ones, and
Yes. There is a difference between them,
Yeah.
and some people can't draw
Yeah.
that line.
And
Like, I've been pretty lucky thus far, because I have tutored people from like across the world who requested it.
Oh wow.
but it's how they ask that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when you say half the world, do you mean like China or wait, do they even have the internet in
Well,
China?
if he's watching, I feel ashamed that I don't remember which country he's from.
So,
Um,
can we get a continent?
yeah, actually, I don't remember at all.
Oh,
It's been over a year and a half, and I've
oh
been working 2 jobs
Oh my
well,
goodness.
yeah.
consistently for year and a half at least.
I was gonna say, are you still working? You still doing framing or?
Yeah, so I still have my framing job. I've been doing my freelance job on and off. And right now, my old print job hired me back.
Oh,
So, yeah, so I don't know how long that's going to last, but at the same time, like I've always had essentially 2 jobs for the past 2 years.
Hmm.
So, um, so yeah, I don't remember much from 2 years right now.
well,
So,
Yasmin, I don't know if the word has gotten around to you yet. Whole part of the big stream today was that I'm in a new place. I bought a house. I'm in a new studio space. So
oh,
yeah, it's sort of the big celebration today. Is I was doing a series of moving logs for a while, and this is the first like a real art video that I've done in about a month. So
oh man, congrats! You
yes,
enjoying your
thank you.
freedom?
Extremely.
It's so fulfilling, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm on my own, and I got a fiber line for my internet too. So
Ooh.
I was telling Lucas about this the other day. Um, the vlogs have been about anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and then they're like roughly half a gig. And at the old house, uploading one of those would take me like 5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Here, it takes me 2 minutes,
Oh, you gotta love the speed.
and it's like the first day I had to like I kept checking, and I'm like, no, this is wrong. It can't be going this fast. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's going to distort the video if it goes this fast. There's no reason. Like I had to keep checking. And I like rewatched it. I'm like, does it look okay? Does anything look choppy? No, everything's fine. How did this upload so fast? Because it's such a foreign concept to me.
Well, and the sad thing is that VPNs actually purposely limit your speed.
Yeah, and it's just totally ridiculous.
It is.
But it is actually going to allow me to. It's going to free up a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to do before, and that I can do like on the channel now too. So it's nice. Live streaming is at this point so much more stable too.
See, I actually have a decent connection because I had to get a decent connection for my freelance work.
Right.
And because I wasn't going to just stand there for 10 hours uploading the files and downloading. I did that one day, and then I called my provider. Literally.
Yeah, you're like, no, this is unacceptable. And they're like, well, give
Yeah.
us more money.
Yeah, well, I knew at that point I was probably going to have to, so they did warn me that the file sizes were very large.
Hmm.
So they did give me a heads up on it.
I think you are limited. Like, don't you have like bandwidth caps and stuff too up there?
Oh yeah, yeah, Canada's just as bad. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm
I don't even know why I think I have.
I'm paying a nice premium that I can barely afford to pay, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it's almost essential though.
Yeah.
If you want your country to actually be competitive in a global industry, you need to get rid of those
Yeah.
in general.
And it's like for people like us, it's a content creation thing. It's essential
It is, yeah.
to as a business tool.
It is actually, yeah. Now, really, caps only become more relevant if you're actually trying to prevent more piracy-based activities,
Yeah.
to be honest. And let's face it, people would buy movies if they could afford it.
If they can afford, to spend, anywhere from $10 to $20 on a movie, all the time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I coupon my movies.
Well, it has started getting better, but the whole zoning thing is actually a big problem.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it's not smart marketing wise, because if I were to go to a different country, I essentially lose all my assets if
Yeah,
I can't bring my video player.
right.
So the way you expect me to buy all this? No.
I was wondering like how would it work because I buy a lot of my movies through Google now. So I'm just like, if I were to move to Canada, that I'm going to move to Canada, I'm just saying it as an example, internet. Would I still be able to watch those movies? Like, would I still be able to watch the episodes of Star Wars Rebels that have come out that I have purchased?
I'm
Something
assuming
like
so
that.
because they're probably associated to an account
Yeah,
instead.
you may have to pay the import fees on them though.
Maybe, yeah. I could
Mm.
foresee something like that being
And one
convoluted.
thing I do know
Yeah.
about Canada is the import fees on like just about everything are kind of nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. When I was looking to start my own Kickstarter for my first illustration book, I looked at the import duties from stuff from China. I'm just like, ooh. Well,
Oh, you probably don't know about my big project either. 'Cause I know you haven't been
oh
around
no.
much. Oh man, I know you're busy, but if you could manage to even do a sketch for this would be really cool. So
Oh, wait, do you have an art
um,
book of like
it's
collaborated
I'm
arts?
that's the goal. So
Okay.
on my website, I have a page now called the projects page, and there is a project there called Kingdom of the Wind,
Okay.
and I originally wanted it to go through like June, but it's probably just going to go through the end of this year since the move kind of got screwed things up a little bit.
Yeah, I
Um,
could see that.
so it was basically originally going to be just a personal project.
Okay.
But I was like, why not open this up a little bit? Let anybody work on it and design stuff for it. So I wrote a short story, well, relatively short story. It ended up being like 10 pages in Word. But it's a short adventure story. It's sort of it's a young prince. It's a little bit of a coming of age story. It's fantasy adventure, very nothing groundbreaking, but it's just sort of a goofy story I came up with that I wanted to tell. So I wrote a story, and basically what I want to do is use it as a visual development project and to design the places and some of the people and or like some of the characters and some of the what would be props. So like some of the things in the story, specific objects, like a cloak or a sword or something like that, and then compile it together and then release it as like a downloadable ebook
Cool.
for like I don't know $5 or something. You know.
Okay. So I'm assuming that you only have like partial rights, so for the book, and we can still
Um,
include it in our own book and content.
I didn't really nail any of that down to be honest.
Okay.
It's like hey, if you
Well,
want
because
to
as long
make
as I can
something,
use it for
submit.
my portfolio, like
Oh
anything
yeah,
that I
absolutely.
find.
It's yeah.
Okay.
I'm not taking anyone's rights to their artwork,
Okay.
but I just want to like compile it into this. Like if it's for this project, it'll go in for the most part. And so on the
Do
website,
you
huh?
do you have a vehicle you need designed?
There's no vehicles. It's all
Oh, okay. I
sort
tried.
of foot travels and
It's pre-technology, pre-industrial era. If that word ever goes into industrial
well,
era.
it's not just necessarily pre-industrial. You just don't see a lot of that stuff.
Makes
It's
sense.
yeah.
I'd
So
have to reread it.
yeah. Well, nothing specifically mentioned. There's a lot to the world that I came up with that just isn't in the story. But yeah, so on my website on the projects page, there's a thing that says get the dev kit. So it's a collection of my own sketches and some Word documents and the story
Okay.
itself that is compiled together to kind of get you started, to kind of come up with the different ideas for things. But it's like it's free and open. So if you want to turn it into a steampunk world or turn it into a cyberpunk world or imagine it with animals, you can totally do that. You know. So
And you
it's
just
a little
open the
more.
Pandora's box of animals and fairies.
He probably guessed it.
Trying not to do that. But you
It's
know,
out
like
there now.
I want to, and as long as even when I sort of compile sort of the book version, I'll leave the dev kit out there so just people can use it as a jump off inspiration point to kind of have a project to work on.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That
So,
sounds like fun. Can you give me the link?
Just cinderblockstudios.com/projects.
Oh, okay. Give me a sec. I'm assuming I'll see it on your main page then.
Well, the projects, it takes you to the project page, and there's like 3 projects, and Kingdom of the Wind is one of them.
Okay. I'd love to stay, but I really want to go back to playing the game.
Please do, by all means. I don't want to keep you.
Okay, and I think the Wii U tablet thingy, whatever it's called, Wii U pad, is done charging.
I think you can play with the cord attached.
The thing is, the cord is far from my sofa, and I don't want to connect it to the sofa. So
Oh wow, okay.
I will try to be back later on tonight. But it's a really good game. It's really hard. It has made me feel stupid. So
That's
good
always
night,
good.
everybody.
See ya.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. So we were saying something. I don't know what it was.
Your little project?
Yeah, the projects page, and yeah. So I actually have one of the first painting for the project on the floors. Basically, the only thing I can really do and that really I know how to do is landscapes. So what I'd like to do is design a lot of the places, and I have a large number of sketches for the project as well already, and those are all in the dev kit as well. So yeah. I'll show some stuff a little bit later because I do want to jump back into that project. So I feel like this
Sweet.
painting's about as done as I'm gonna make it today. I feel good about
I am
this.
downloading the dev kit as we speak.
Woo! And yeah, anyone watching in comments, feel free to go to the site, get the dev kit, use it as a way to inspire yourself and everything like that.
Actually, here, just show it on my screen for a bit.
All right, I'll keep it over on your page for a little bit. So yeah, Kingdom of the Wind. There were 2 videos sort of introducing it. There was the introduction, which is like a 15-minute thing, and then there was sort of the reintroduction when I launched the dev kit, which is like an 8-minute video. But all of that is, you can almost forgo all of that for the sake of.
Well, challenges like this are really good because they normally force you to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to do a little bit of architectural design.
Mhm.
I want to do stuff with tracing paper and do like a multi-layer thing. And I want to try and I want to try and do at least one. There are a couple of jewels. There's a diamond encrusted ring. There's an amber ring, and then there's a sword with a black onyx hilt. And I might attempt one or all of or some of those. I haven't quite decided yet. But the biggest thing is getting a lot of the stuff from the kingdom just designed and sort of building the world, so to speak. So
Well,
I gotta sign this painting.
The good news is I was hoping to get experience with props anyway.
Well, there you go.
Yep. I'm like, okay, awesome.
And that's
Because it's just a new challenge, so.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought, I feel like it's good for a lot of like aspiring concept artists too, like a lot of the people that watch that are like in high school and they want to like try something or try their hand at something. It's good for that. It's good for even just to practice something, you know. So I'm gonna sign in red.
If you're working only on your own stuff, you only see your own stuff.
Right.
And then you don't improve.
Yeah, it's harder to know. Actually, it's a good example. Is anyone who does prop replicas, because they say you can know somebody's skill level because it's somebody else's design. It's like, oh, you came this close to someone else's design, you know. So.
Well, it's measurable.
Right.
When I was in school for 3D, our teachers would tell us, it's like, no, you need to actually be doing essentially fan art
Yeah.
for 3D. It's like they want to see you take celebrities and try to rebuild them in 3D.
Huh.
Because if you can do that, you can pretty much do anything at that point, because that's pretty much what the job is.
Yeah.
And you can normally, typically, for something like that, you can tweak things and then make them into completely different characters later on, once you have the base knowledge of how to make something look real.
Yeah, and that's all Kingdom of the Wind is it's a base, it's a jumping off point. Obviously, wouldn't want somebody stealing the story to some degree, but it's because it's a Creative Commons project, so there is still some intellectual property that's mine. But yeah, so
You're fine as
this,
long as nobody else publishes the book.
calling this painting done.
Oh, sweet.
Let me flip back to my screen there so you guys can see that. And I'll pull out some Kingdom of the Wind sketches as well, so can touch on that a little bit. Yeah, I'm like 2 sketchbooks from my original sketches from Kingdom of the Wind, but I've got one of the paintings on the floor. So yeah, so I have to hit this with some sealer tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be warm enough to do that. If not, I'll just... Actually, I can do that in my garage now, so it's nice.
Yay! Oh man, that must be nice. I have to wait until the summer before I can start using my balcony again.
Yeah. So okay, so there should be some of the stuff in this sketchbook. Won't need this page anymore. I have like several different paintings in here that I'm not going to get to. So yeah, okay. So there's Kingdom of the Wind stuff in here. Okay, a lot of it started out with things like that. So this is kind of how it started. Is I was trying to, I thought about this kingdom. So the Kingdom of the Wind sits on a big tall spire. If you imagine a big plate, if you have a city on a big plate and it's on top of like a stick, and at the bottom are all these. It's called the Realm of Darkness. So there's like spiky rocks and things, and the thing is that the story is set up to seem like a fairy tale, but it is actually significantly darker. Like for example, any criminal gets thrown into this pit, and that's it. It's just like you're banished from the city. You're just thrown into the abyss.
There's no second chances.
Right. So crime is relatively minimal because they know even moderate crimes you get thrown off the city. And you're kicked out. Basically, you're banished. You're thrown out. And so the city sits on this spire, and there's like a big hole, and so it just kind of sits up. So here's yeah, this is the sketch painting for this is what the first piece is the kingdom. So the kingdom sits up, and there's a bridge coming across, and it sits in like this big valley with all these mountains, and it's snowy mountains. It's really cold there. But the city is like a little bit of a haven from all of this, and there's like a big wall around it. And then one part of the city is a geyser, a hot spring, which is what keeps the city warm. And then sort of the wind spirit keeps everything else around them and protects them. So the big thing is designing the kingdom, and then there's some internal shots I did. There's the balcony of the city, which is going to be a good one. The wind gate and a mountain pass is in there. I want somebody to do a world map. So like a fantasy map. I've seen them. Not great at them. There's a ring design.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and this is all the stuff's in the dev kit. So they're all just really rough.
Ooh, characters.
Yeah. So there's a traveling merchant. So it's like, what does this traveling merchant look like? What kind of stuff is he carrying? How much stuff can he carry? Is he a big guy? Is he a little guy? And it's like all of this stuff would be based on like two sentences in the story. So you can really just kind of imagine what you want to do. Layout of the city. Actually, this has a nicer version than what's in my sketchbook. here's the here's the view from the balcony. This one I really want to paint. So you,
Oh, that's gonna be a nice perspective shot.
yeah. Actually the balcony shot I might do as a complete digital piece and not even touch canvas for that one, just so I could have the perspective a little cleaner.
Well, you could technically print out your rough
Yeah, but
and
I
then use
don't-
tracing paper on your canvas just to get a general idea of the perspective.
right, and then some other. Go back further now, figure out where we were, because then I got a little further in, further out with some of this stuff. Switched back to other sketches, and then I came back to Cane Another Wind stuff at a certain point. Nope. Yeah. There's the sketch from the city piece that I just the one that's on the canvas. I specifically wanted the city and the valley to be the first piece I did, and then everything else to kind of branch out from there. So yeah, it's the story is very it's a lot of like Last Airbender inspired. It's got elements of a lot of different things that kind of have formed together into one story. But I'm pretty happy with the story itself. And I won't show all of this, but yes, it's all in the dev kit. Sorry, I'm getting excited.
I don't blame you. I get excited with my own stuff too.
So we had a comment earlier. Susan Hale says, "Hey Ben, first watching you live, yay!"
Props on that one.
Yeah. So, oh my, long.
Oh, it's so hot in my apartment. We're not allowed to open the windows and the heat's on. And it's very, very warm.
Yeah, I suppose. So, I don't know what I want to do now. I think I finish a painting. It's like, okay, just relax now. I should clean this brush though. I'll be back. Another thing that's really nice is my sink is 5 steps from my table.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, I can actually
That's
maybe
travel time.
let me get. Let's see. Do I have a spare? Have a little other tripod around here somewhere? Maybe. I was gonna say I'll probably disable my camera and then sit it down so I can actually do a pan of the room. Actually, using roughly my same live show setup as I did before. So I think we'll stream at least live for another maybe 15 minutes or so, and then we'll just jump into the post show with just a few of us.
Assuming I can survive that long. My brain's starting to give out.
You know what? I tell you what, it's I don't think I've been awake like by like 9 o'clock or so every night this week. I've just been like, oh god, I'm tired. Just have like so much stuff on my plate now with the house, so it's like, jeez.
Oh, I'm thinking of taxes. Yay.
Oh, actually, I did my taxes earlier today. Actually,
Yay, taxes.
yeah.
I pay somebody to do it. However, it's always a good idea to actually know whether or not they made a mistake.
Right.
So I pre-compile everything before I give it to them because I technically am a small business as well.
Right.
Because I'm a freelancer.
I'm gonna switch
So,
to my laptop
yeah.
for a second there. So it's just gonna be that shot for the time being until I get this camera down.
That blinding light.
That's just the way I can probably think. Might be able to tilt this down a little, so you can see that at least that's half of the room where my laundry stuff is.
Yay, laundry. Let's see, is it clean?
Well, actually, I've had stuff in the dryer for like 6 hours. I gotta still gotta do that.
It's coming out, I swear.
Actually, at this point, it needs probably an air fluff just to get it back to working order.
Well, it's better than what I do. I actually hand wash all my clothes.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then air dry them. And not necessarily by choice. It's just that
Yeah,
all the
necessity.
laundromats are closed every time I'm actually done work. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't send it to a laundromat. And the one in the apartments literally destroys my clothes.
All right, so we're gonna get this over here, I suppose. And there we go. And then pull that around here. And we should be able to switch the cameras back now. There we are. Hello, folks.
Oi!
Oh man. So yeah. new space. My dad helped me build a table, so I got a 4x6 foot work table.
Ooh. I actually built my own work table. It actually, wait, I think I filmed that. No, that was the other table.
I kind of wish I filmed it, but at the same time, my dad put like half of it together while I was at work one day, so I was like, well, now I can't. But I found the schematics online, so I just posted them into a video description. So this is just a modified version of a schematic I found online. So.
Oh, that works.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad he built most of it because my measurements were wrong, and I would have built something that was off by like 2 inches on every cut. So.
Well, that would be very problematic.
Well, the issue was oh, hello. I gotta have this. Whoa, hell, oh, jeez. Really talked before about having a lot of cord space, and now I don't have a lot of cord space. I'm reaching at the corner of the room. Here we go. So I'll tilt down a little bit here. So it's just plywood and 2x4s.
Nice.
So there. Nope. Swing. Turn. There we go. So there's a 2-inch overhang all the way around, which was the thing that screwed up my measurements because I didn't account for that.
Oh.
And then there's also a shelf down here, which is great. So underneath here, I've got rags, gesso. All my spray cans are down here, and then I just have some bottles in the corner. And then I have like anything that was a rolled up canvas is all underneath, so it's out there and out of the way.
Are those Liquitex spray cans?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Have they
Yep.
fixed the nozzles? Because when I bought mine, they would get clogged internally, and I couldn't unclog them.
Slightly, but some of it is up to you. Actually, chances are it's not. I had that same thought. I thought like, oh, they're clogging internally, but it actually is the caps that do it.
It is?
Yes.
Because I tried actually pressing it.
So no. You have to have tons of spare caps on hand. And what the one guy that does their videos suggests, and it's really good for it. When you finish with the cap, stick it in some water, and I actually put some rubbing alcohol in here as well, and just shake it up and keep them in here. And it really helps the longevity of the caps because it clears out any remnant paint that's in there.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm gonna remember that.
so you turn it upside down and clear the cap like you would anything else, and then and they also have the cap cleaner, which does help significantly because that this is like an alcohol or a like because the Liquitex stuff is good indoors. The cap cleaner
Yes.
is not good indoors because it actually is a solvent.
Oh, okay.
So if you blow a little bit of this out through a cap for 3 seconds and then throw it in the cleaner, your caps will last like 3-4 times as long. But the same thing, if by getting more caps and getting the cap cleaner, it is an additional investment.
Okay, because I tried cleaning the cap, and I actually tried spraying without the cap on, and it wouldn't.
Yeah, I tried to. Yeah, there was 1 or 2 cans early on that I completely destroyed because because the thing is when the cap clogs like that, then it starts spraying down into the stem,
Oh,
and that's likely what happened. 'Cause
okay.
I had to ditch 2 or 3 cans for that very reason because I didn't realize what was going on. But I need
Okay,
to
that's good to know.
I need to get a bright red again.
Okay,
I got
because
white.
I was working on my desk, and like I literally ran out of paint
Yeah,
because it clogged. I was just like, no.
and it goes, you're like,
Yes.
oh crap.
Which I made it work because now
Right.
it has like a sky effect.
Yeah,
It just wasn't entirely intended.
right.
So it turned out good because
So-
now you can't tell if it's messy.
I actually there are some things where I actually won't shake the can as much, specifically to get a messier spray, just to
Yeah.
kind of give that little bit of texture. But you got to really be careful when you're doing that. I saw something recently. I don't know if I still have that. There were some new products that came through, at least through the U.S. art stores and stuff. Let's see if it's in the front of this one. I think it is. Some new items that caught my attention. The brand is called Sugar,
Oh,
and it's similar to the Liquitex because it's a low VOC paint.
okay.
Let me see what is extremely low odor. Yeah, that's about all it says. I don't know if it's actually made with sugar. It might be. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, made from harvested sugar cane. So yeah, it rather than they use sugar cane instead of petroleum.
I
as a-
could think of multiple reasons why that would be a bad idea for me, considering I have blood sugar problems.
Well, you're not eating it.
Well, the overspray, would it become airborne slightly?
I don't know. My problem. See, this is why I could probably never actually use anything other than the Liquitex, because the Liquitex actually tells you what color it is. It says
Okay.
it's like cad red, cad yellow, cerulean. Sugar, some like Montana or any of the other big spray paint. All their colors are made up colors. They're like the sugar ones are all named after, at least some of them are named after sweet things. So there's a color that says maple syrup. It's like, well, okay, but fine, but what color is that?
Oh, that's a problem,
What's
actually.
what's the pigment? Like, tell me what the pigment is. I need to know. Yeah, and Montana does it with their spray.
Oh, that's too bad.
I don't know what the other. I can't remember what the other ones are. Iron Lac, I think, is one of the other ones. But yeah, they all do that. They all have custom color names. It's like traffic light. It's like, no, it doesn't help me. So, yeah. So what were some of the other things that caught my attention in here? Concentrated watercolor powder.
What?
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even figure out what.
That exists?
Apparently, yeah. This thing is when I see something that I've never heard of, it's like, okay, that intrigues me. I should get one.
Huh.
Although I have
Watercolor.
been.
Okay, so are they talking about the filler then that's in watercolor, but in powdered form?
I'm guessing it's just like a powdered pigment that activates with water. I'm not entirely sure. No idea, honestly.
I'm
So yeah,
curious.
that's a couple of things here. I gotta do the camera spin as I was mentioning before, though. So let me turn around here. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't been watching the moving vlogs, and I understand why some people wouldn't, because they're long and ridiculous.
Yeah, but
and a lot of it's
people
me.
watched them.
A lot of it's me just been showing off the house more than the studio, because the studio wasn't big. Okay, so the art table's roughly about the same as it was set up before. So it's very, very similar, if not almost exactly the same. So I have a countertop. This countertop I was using sort of as my bar last time around. My bar is now in a cabinet, so it's obviously not the bar anymore. So countertop, and my laptop sits here, and I can do some drawing here. And then all my paints, at least for the most part, all my paints are up on the hutch here. So I have a watercolor shelf and a gouache shelf and a couple things for acrylics and acrylic inks. I have just some general mediums and additives in the middle, and things like that. And the whole top shelf on top is all decorative stuff. Because I was used to shelves, and now I have mostly drawers. There was a well, for some things. I had like a couple of shelves that were all drawing stuff, and now my drawing stuff is in this drawer. So like pastels and inks and colored pencils, and it's all in this sort of self-contained thing. And I actually don't use a lot of my drawing stuff as often, so it's nice to have it kind of out of the way. Let's see what else is over here. So this drawer was always paper, so it's all still paper. So everything from bristle and drawing paper and newsprint and watercolor and pastel paper and tracing paper and all that stuff's in here. Closest thing I can get to a flat file. Second drawer was cardboard, and it always kind of is smaller pieces of cardboard. And the bottom drawer I actually didn't have access to in the old studio, and now I keep all my painting clothes in the bottom. So it's like good. Keep them out of my closet upstairs and keep them down here. And there's just some general storage in the lower cabinets.
It's a very smart idea to do that.
Yeah.
I have a set of overalls that are so dusty, they get stored in a bin.
Actually, we'll get a little closer to the far corner. So there's also a closet door here. Actually, on the wall next to it, here, I want to put this entire like 3 foot, or not 3 foot. What is this? Like 2 foot by maybe 6.5 foot section. This is going to be a giant corkboard wall, so I can pin ideas and stuff to it. But that's probably not going to happen until the summer. And then there's a little corner of the room here, and I'm going to put some shelves in there eventually. But it involves drilling into concrete, so it's going to be a while. The closet holds its painting storage for the most part. So any paintings that aren't out right now and are in storage and other additional things are all just shoved in here for lack of a better space. But it's out of the way, which is nice. So I have relatively easy access to that. And the light on the switch always helps too. Some stuff, of course, still needs tweaking, but as we go along. And in the corner, I have a little corner bookshelf, which I'll turn this light off. I don't really need it on anyway, but needed it before, but I don't really need it now. So my sketchbooks are up on top, where the light was. So these are all the old sketchbooks. There's some camera stuff here. There's a lot of crap on the floor here right now, and then there's just some other general books in the prop shelves down there where the claws were, and things like that. So it's just kind of where it fits. That's where that stuff ends up. And then everything else is just kind of shoved in corners in different places to see where things go. And then, of course, from looking from, the one side of the room to the other side of the room, I have maybe 3 feet or a little bit more between the table and the countertop. So, and that's just sort of the spot where I make stuff. So yeah, new studio space. Woo!
Yay!
So I think that's a good place to cut the live stream anyway. A few of us here in our section of the world will have our own little post show. So thanks everybody for tuning in to this episode of Live Art Hangout 52 live in the new studio. I will be back next week with some new regular old art videos, tutorials, and that kind of stuff. I don't know what video I'm going to make yet for that, but should be something good. Thanks to Lucas earlier, to Yasmin, and to Juanita for joining me on the show this evening. And I should really just sit here for a second and actually wave goodbye. I feel like that would be at least polite, rather than just hiding stealthily off camera. So thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks to my guests, and as always, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.